Hi guys, welcome back to another video here on Peep Designs. I'm Kyra, and for today's video, we're gonna be doing the second entry of my entrepreneur diary. And today we're gonna be talking about how I actually got started. So first, do you notice anything different? Oh, what? We're eye level? Because I got my tripod. I got the tripod, just like I said. I bought the tripod. Sorry, my mic was showing. I got the tripod, so super excited. I have a real tripod. I can do real YouTuber things now. And actually, today I'm in front of one of my murals, one of the murals that I did where I live. It's not done yet. I still have to fix a couple things with them, but for the most part, I like it. What do you guys think? Okay, so I told you guys in the last entrepreneur diary that I didn't actually start my business until I moved back in with my parents. And that happened around end of 2015. And I moved because just things weren't working for me in Berkeley. They weren't working for me. And I don't know if you guys know, but Peeps actually started not because I had a lot of peace, but actually because I had a tremendous amount of anxiety, tremendous amount of fear. Just nothing was going right in my life except for the Lord calling me close to Him. So, you know, the Lord really did use my art to help me. And so, just a quick backstory on Peeps. So, long story short, I moved back in and I was showing my mom some of my work one day. And we were talking about, I think we had been talking about it on and off, but she said, have you ever considered putting it on t-shirts? Like, you could put it on t-shirts, you could do this with it. And I just remember being very like, no, no, I don't want to do that. Just because I didn't understand the whole reason behind why I would need to do it, or even how it would be profitable to me, not financially, but just why. Like, how is that going to benefit me in my life? Who's going to care is another thing. And we kept talking about it for a couple months, and she just kept encouraging me, like, you know what, order some samples. And that's the first thing. Order samples. If you're gonna start a business, if you're even thinking about starting a company or a business, whether it's clothing, you wanna make hairbrushes, you wanna make dolls or toys or whatever it is, order samples before you start. Before you start is the most important thing, to order samples. That way you know what the quality is like before you let somebody else buy it. That way you know if it's gonna even look right on a t-shirt, or if you wanna make earrings, you know, make the sample for yourself first. That way you know what you're working with and you know what you're selling. You don't wanna, well, you might, but I don't wanna sell something to somebody that I wouldn't wear myself or that I wouldn't be okay with. And that was something my mom introduced me to, was just order some samples. Like, oh, before you start, you don't have, and it takes the pressure off. If you order samples, you get to hold it in your hand and see, oh my goodness, it's here. Like, this is a real thing and it's a tangible thing. And that really encouraged me, ordering samples. I'll actually include a clip of the first samples I ordered.
Kyra's first products are here.
My first samples. Oh, and they feel so nice.
Do they?
Oh, snap. Yes.
Yes,
my
you
art.
did. Yes, you did, girl. Oh, no.
Oh my goodness gracious. That's even better than I could have dared to dream or imagine or think of. My art in life size. Oh my goodness. Then that's actually, to me, the day I started my business. Once my samples arrived in the mail and I held them in my hand, December 2016, that's when I started Peep Designs. Anything else before that was leading up to it. It was important, but to me, having the sample in my hand really solidified, wow, this is a real thing. Wow, I'm doing this. So order samples. Next thing is how to start with $0. For me, I'm a digital artist for the most part. All my products are digitally designed. So what that means is I do the art digitally and I put it up on a t-shirt, and I can see the sample online without having to physically order anything first. Of course, this is painted, so it's different, but if you can, I mean, there's so many apps out there that are free that you can make a sample. You can even make earrings online and put a product online. So starting with $0 for me meant digitally designing the art, digitally designing the t-shirts and the purses or the tote bags in my case. Or just for me, I also hand paint stuff too. So for me, if I would have gone the hand painted route mostly of making my products like this, and I could have just used an old bag or an old purse that I already had and used markers or paint or something. And that's starting with $0. I mean, make samples online digitally first before you order anything, and that's how you can start for $0. And you can start a clothing company for $0 doing it that way too. If you don't want to buy samples, if you read the reviews and you see, okay, their stuff is quality, you already know, then you can just start your clothing business for free, literally for free. And all you did was design it, put it up on a t-shirt, you got a clothing business. So that's one way you can start your company for free. So getting back to how I actually started my company, or just what was going on internally when I actually started Peep. I had a lot of insecurity. I had a lot of insecurities about it. Not just who's gonna want it or who's gonna buy it, but also who am I to start a company? Why would I start a company? What does it have to do with me? Who's gonna like it? Is my art even good enough? And so that was one of the big things, was getting over the hurdle of insecurities, because it can really stop you from doing things. If you let your insecurities, they can really overtake you if you're not working to get rid of them. Like we talked about in the last video, getting rid of that stinkin thinking, because it will ruin your life. It'll ruin your life and you will begin to sabotage things. Trust me, I know, because in the beginning of my company, one, I had all this fear, insecurities, and what started to happen was I would start doing little things to sabotage it. Maybe not doing the digitally designed stuff on time, or not paying attention to things that I needed to be doing, or even trends that were happening that really could have propelled my company first thing in the beginning, but just not paying attention to those things. So make sure you get rid of any insecurities you have now, or at least make sure that they're manageable, that you're managing it and working on getting rid of them, or else it's gonna be to your detriment. I'm just telling you now. I'm just telling you now. So make sure you get rid of them and ask people for help. Just again, ask people for help. Ask people what do they think about it. Ask for feedback. That helped me, was asking for feedback, asking my family, my trusted advisors, and my close people to me, because I know that they're gonna tell me the truth. And if they didn't like it, they would say, yeah, I don't like it, but I see what you're going for and I see how it can be better. And or if they did like, hey, I really like this, I'm not just saying this because I love you, but I'm saying it because X, Y, Z, and they would tell me why they liked it. They would tell me why it was good and why it was quality work. Even the same thing with my t-shirts. So make sure you have people you can go to if you are dealing with insecurity. So one of the things for me actually starting my company, which is a good tip for you, is not understanding that nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows who you are. You might be popular and you can start a brand, but you can't just put your name on something and expect people to buy it solely for the name if they don't know you. So one example is for me, Peeps. So Peeps or Peep Designs, I really wanted to put it on a hat, put Peeps on a hat, or Peep. And I remember my mom, my sister, and I, we have what we call our production meetings. And so during one of our production meetings, I said, yeah, I'm gonna put Peeps on a hat, and it's just gonna be so cool. People are gonna buy it, and people are gonna be walking around, and it's gonna say Peep, and everybody's gonna be a Peep. And my mom, just gently, she was like, Kyra, you're not Gucci. Like, you're not Gucci. Nobody knows who you are. Like, that's great for in the future, but nobody knows who you are. Like, you can't just start off doing that. You can't just start off and put your brand name on a t-shirt and wonder why, like, hey, nobody's buying it. It's like, because nobody gets it. Nobody knows you. You know, your friends might buy it because they want to support you. Some people might buy it because maybe you design it really cool, but ultimately, you need to let people in on the story first. As you grow your brand, as you grow your company, you need to let people in. Like, even still, like, this doesn't just say Peace Peep, it says peace. Peace is best. That way people know. That way people know what I'm about. They know what Peace Peeps is, and when they see this, they attach it to Peace Peep Designs versus some other company. So, you know, it's those little things that are going to help you in the early stages and in the long run to making sure that your company is set up to succeed, you know. So I'm not saying that you can't put it, but I'm just saying probably a better idea to wait until you're more known, even locally, till you're known locally, to put your name on something, or at least to make that the whole product, you know. Like, you can tag it. What I do is I will sign it. So if I had this bag, it's signed with my name, Peace Peep Design, so that when they look at it, if they buy it, they know, hey, I got this bag from Peace Peep Designs. So that's another thing that I had to learn. So I'm glad I learned quickly. So make sure you take that into consideration. Okay, so the last two things that I'm going to share today are So the last two things I'm going to share today are making your decisions early about what you want your product to look like, or what you definitely don't want your product to look like. So the next two things are actually in the same story. So early on, so in the stages of getting samples and before actually starting my company, my mom and I went, you know how they have those kiosks in the mall where you can print on t-shirts, where they're like heat press an image onto a shirt for you. You can do a custom image, you can get whatever you want on the t-shirt basically in like this little square. So my mom and I would go down to the kiosk, says we want to get a sample made and send a shirt to somebody, but really to get a sample made. And so we go down there, and for some reason, I'd been thinking about it for that whole day since we came up with the idea of, oh, we can get it printed at the mall. Let's just go make a sample at the mall. And I remember making a really big deal of it, and I'm like, I don't want it in a square. Like, I hate it. Like, I hate it in that little square. I want nothing to do with it. Like, I don't want it to be in a square. I don't want it. And my mom, she just stopped me. We're walking up to the kiosk, and she just stops me and she goes, decide right now. Like, decide right now if you want to do it. For the rest of your company's life, decide if that's something you're going to do or you're not going to do. Like, because if you decide now, it takes away the stress of it. For a future of thinking like, oh, what if I have to do it one day? It's your business. You decide. If that's not how you want your brand to be represented, then you have the say-so as the business owner to say, I don't want my brand to be represented that way. I don't want it to look like that. Even if you don't want a color scheme, it's your choice. It's my choice for how I paint this bag. It's my choice. If I want to put pink or blue, if I want to only paint one side, it's my choice, because I get to decide how I represent my brand or how my brand is represented. And so I decided that day to never do it. And I've never done it. You'll never see a Peace Peep shirt in that awkward little square. I hate it. And it looks good for other people's stuff. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just my designs. I just don't like seeing that square around my stuff. But it looks cool for some other people's stuff. I've seen nice ones, but I'm just not a fan. So decide early on what you want for your products to look like and what you definitely don't want your products to look like. Now, of course, in the span of your company, you'll have new ideas. This is a part of my Peep to Find collection. I've never done anything that looks like this before the second year of my company. So, you know, of course you can't say everything that you don't want or everything that you do want, but you can decide some things based on what you know you like and what you know you already don't like. So decide early. Another thing, and the last thing, is listen to the people who you don't know who give you good feedback. So the same day where we're going to that kiosk to get the t-shirts printed, we decided we would still go to the kiosk and ask the guy if he knew any places where we could get the image, and even just to see what it would look like on a t-shirt, or to see if it was even an option, if he could do it. And so we still went to the kiosk. We showed the guy a photo of like an example of what I would want. And the guy's reaction, he was just like, oh my goodness, what, like, wow, looking at this gives me so much peace. Like, wow, and he made a big deal about it. He's like, wow, looking at this gives me so much peace. And if you know even a little bit about Peep Designs, the whole purpose behind it is to remind you to have peace. So when you look at them, the reason their eyes are closed is because, to me, they are thinking about peaceful things. They're not meditating, but when you think about good things, it makes you feel better. When you think about peaceful things, to me, it makes you feel peaceful. So the eyes closed means have peace. And so he looks at it, and I didn't even tell him what the purpose was. I don't think I had told him, oh, this is why and X, Y, Z. He just looked at it and was like, oh my goodness, I'm going through stuff, and just looking at this gives me so much peace. Wait, let me see the image again. I need some more peace. I need some more peace. And I remember my mom saying, like, hey, make sure you take note of that, because that's showing you what you think your company is supposed to be doing. It's already doing that. Like, in the early stages, your message should be able to come across. Of course, there's bugs and tweaks that you have to work out. Even in the baby stages, it should be doing what it's supposed to be doing. And for me, I know one of the things with Peeps is to remind people to have peace. So to me, that was huge. It was huge, and that feedback has really helped me. And just listening to people who confirm or reaffirm what I know my company is supposed to be doing helps me to stay encouraged, especially in the lows, and to keep going, especially in the lows. So, make sure you listen to those people and just take note of it. Even if you don't fully take it to heart, just take note of it and say, oh, that person said today, hey, I like your stuff. Hey, I really like this. This is a really cool design. Take note of those things and keep doing what you're doing. So I hope you got some insight today. I know today's video was a little bit longer. I'll be coming back next week or so to do another Entrepreneur Diary entry. Next week or so, I'll be talking about, stay tuned. So make sure you come back to check on what I'll be doing. With school and stuff, I've been a little bit busy, so that's why I haven't posted this video a couple weeks ago, and then I went on vacation. So, but I will be aiming to post regularly, at least once a week, especially for this Entrepreneur Diary, because I think it's super important, and I think it's super helpful for you guys to just have some insight, and for me to be able to share what I've learned within these 2 years of running my own company. So if you guys got anything from it, comment it below. If there's any questions you have, please feel free to ask me. And if you want to start your own business, what do you want to do? What's your company? Comment it below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and my website. I do paintings, I have t-shirts, I have bags. I do hand-painted custom things like this fanny pack here. So check out my website. It's peepdesigns.com. I'll post it in the description below. And I'll see you next time. Bye.
Peace doesn't come from